Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ben here, and today I just want to do a quick video talking about the news that we just got of the Dwight Howard trade from the Charlotte Hornets to the Brooklyn Nets. So it's going to be basically a reaction video of just me talking about my thoughts on the trade, what it means for Dwight, what it means for the Nets, what it means for the Hornets, what it means for the rest of the NBA going forward. So let's get into it. So he was officially traded for Timothy Mozgov, some cash, and 2 second-round picks. My initial thoughts were, man, the Nets are getting better. Honestly, I really like this trade for the Nets. I don't really get why the Hornets would do it. It tells me that they're going into full rebuild mode. I would expect a Kemba Walker trade coming up soon. I wouldn't be shocked to hear that because I feel like the trading of Dwight is a sign that they're raising the white flag for the next season and they're going to try and tank. Or some people don't like it when you say they're going to try and tank. They're going to try and rebuild, if you will. So yeah, I could see Kemba getting traded soon. Mozgov is a trash player these days. He didn't play much for the Nets last year, and when he did, he was a very average to mediocre player. He could start at center, I guess, but the Hornets have had a really clogged 4 and 5 position the last couple of years, so this gives a chance for maybe Cody Zeller and Kaminsky to start together full time for the first time, which would be kind of cool to see. Or if they want to keep Marvin Williams in at the 4 starting, then they could have either Kaminsky or Zeller at the 5 and the other come off the bench. I'd probably start Zeller and have Kaminsky come off the bench because he's a shooter, so it'd be nice to inject some shooting into the lineup after the starters have come out. But Marvin Williams has also become a really good stretch 4, so you can't knock him for his shooting abilities. But Mozgov, I think, will basically ride the bench this next year. The cash will help a little bit, I guess. Essentially, both teams are. I think it's actually more of the. Let's see here. The Hornets are saving a little bit of money by trading Dwight Howard because he had $23 million coming at him, and I think Mozgov is more around 16. So that saves them a little bit of money, around $8 million bucks. So good for them. I really don't like this trade for the Hornets if their goal is to win next year, which I don't think it is. And if their goal is to tank, I guess this is a good move. But, I mean, a tank is just setting yourself back automatically 2 to 3 years. So in the short run, it's bad. In the long run, it's maybe good for the Hornets. So that's where I stand on that. Now, as for the Nets, I think this has much more positive implications on every front. The biggest part that I'll address first is that now, after this next season, in the summer of 2019, they will have cap space to sign 2 max free agents. And the big talk for a lot of people has been, well, what will be the max free agents that they try and sign? And I think the answer to that is that they could sign a number of players. I've got a list right here of some of the potential people that could be on the market in 2019. I'll just list a few off. Not all of these are necessarily guys they'd want to sign, but that they could sign. Or guys that might also opt into a contract and might not be free agents, but could be. But I'll just start listing some off. That would be potential guys that they could use that cap space to sign. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, they could re-sign Dwight Howard if they really like what he does this year, probably for a lower price tag. Let's see here. If Paul George opts in this year with the Thunder, which I don't think he'll do, he'd be a complete free agent next year, unrestricted. They could try and sign him. If DeAndre Jordan opts in this coming year, they could try and sign him, but I don't think that he'll opt in. I think he'll opt out and leave LA. Let's see here. Klay Thompson will be a free agent. Kemba Walker. Those are like your big name guys, probably. The rest aren't that big, honestly. They're, I don't know if you consider a guy like Tobias Harris a franchise-changing player. I consider him maybe the 3rd or 4th best player on a championship team, depending. But yeah, maybe a guy like Kemba Walker would be willing to give it a try. He's always been in a small market in Charlotte. He might be willing to give it a go in the Big Apple. We never know. He was also in the market for a really big contract. His current deal is worth, let's see here, what is it worth? He's currently making $12 million a year, which is obviously a sham for how good of a player he is. He should be making more around 20 to 25 probably. But a guy like that who isn't the best of the best is still going to demand the max, so they probably have to offer him 30 to 35. But, it would be interesting. What if, say, they get Kemba and Clay? They combine that with D'Angelo Russell. That could be a very interesting team. Or even you could do a thing where you sign some older guys for cheaper. Like, what if you sign with 2 max slots? That's 60 million, so around 60 million. What if you sign for 20 million each Dwight Howard, or not even Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan if he opts in, Tobias Harris and Klay Thompson? Or you sign to the max Klay Thompson and Kemba, or you sign LeBron James and DeAndre Jordan, or if Paul George opts in, LeBron and Paul George. There's honestly a huge combination of options that could happen next summer. But I like this move for them. I think that they do also get better this next year, which is something that is maybe being overlooked a little bit. Most people that I've heard talking on various outlets have been talking about the next summer's free agency, but I think we can talk about this next year as well. Dwight Howard's a huge upgrade over Timothy Mozgov at center. Dwight is very underrated these days. Now, that might sound like a weird statement considering he's an 8-time All-Star, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and possibly a future Hall of Famer. What am I saying possibly? He's almost a for sure future Hall of Famer. But since he left Orlando, people have really been underrating him, I think. Or since he basically fell flat on his face in Houston, people have been underrating him. He had down years his last year in Houston and in Atlanta, but then last year in Charlotte, he averaged 17 and almost 13 rebounds a game, which is very impressive. I had him as an all-star in my book. He wasn't. I had him on my All-NBA team, though, on the 3rd team, I'm pretty sure. I thought he had a great year, bounce-back year. I think that what people are forgetting about Dwight is that he can still be a primary scorer on a team. He was still behind Kemba as far as scoring, but he was just gone to a lot more. And when he went to Houston, he was expecting to score 20 points a game and be the 1A or 1B with James Harden. He wasn't expecting to be the definitive second option. Same thing in Los Angeles when his scoring average went down a bit. He was expecting to be 1B to Kobe, but he was like the definitive number 2. Even in Atlanta, he thought he would be, 1 or 1A as far as scoring, and he was more like the 3 or the 4 option as far as scoring. But when he is given the chance, he does really well, like he did last year. So I like him there. Adding him to D'Angelo Russell and Rondé Hollis-Jefferson and Damari Carroll and Karis LeVert. I don't think it's a playoff team by any means, but I think they're definitely going to get better. I could see them winning around 35 games next year, which I think would be good. So I like the move a lot. I could see Dwight upping his average just a tick. It depends on how healthy Jeremy Lin is too, because if he starts playing again, that could lower Dwight's scoring average. But you look at the Nets; they got Spencer Dinwiddie, D'Angelo Russell, Jeremy Lin, and then as I previously mentioned, Carroll, Hollis Jefferson, and Dwight. That's not a terrible team. That's not the cellar dweller that they were 2 years ago. That's a team that on any given night can be competitive. So there you have it, guys. I think that the Dwight move really benefits the Nets, marginally benefits the Hornets, depending on how you look at it. And it's just a really interesting shakeup that I think deserved to be talked about. And that's all I got, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.